exposing the horrors of post-Roe America and its cruelty toward children. According to a Time magazine report, a 13-year-old girl was forced to give birth after getting raped and impregnated by a stranger who attacked her outside her home. Despite the state's so-called exceptions for rape, which require a police report, the girl was unable to get an abortion. Time magazine used Ashley as the pseudonym for the girl who, along with her family, are caught in the teeth of abortion ban America, where the procedure is illegal across most of the South. Ashley's mom, whose pseudonym in the Time piece is Regina, said her daughter used to love going outside to make dance clips for her TikTok account. But suddenly, last fall, she refused to leave her room and stopped speaking. When she turned 13, Ashley wasn't even in the mood to celebrate. She just said to her mother, "It hurts." Despite the disappearance of abortion care in her state after Dobbs, the closest provider, because of the disappearance of abortion care in her state after Dobbs, the closest clinic was in Chicago. That's a 9-hour drive by car, too far and too expensive for Regina and Ashley to make the trip. Regina said she simply didn't have the money or the time off work. Ashley was terrified of going into labor, her doctor recalled. She had questions about pushing and the pain. Her son, nicknamed Peanut, is now a few weeks old. Any day now, his mother, by government mandate, who is young enough to be his big sister, will start 7th grade. Joining me now is Shannon Brewer, executive director of Las Cruces Women's Health Organization in New Mexico. She's the former director of Mississippi's Jackson Women's Health Organization, the clinic at the center of the Dobbs case. Thank you, Shannon Brewer. You are the one person that I really wanted to talk to about this case. So thank you for saying yes. Let's talk about this little girl. That's the reality now for little girls all across your former state. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts actually is this is exactly what we have been telling everybody is going to happen. This is going to happen a lot more. It probably has already happened. We're just hearing about this one. This is what we were telling everybody when they were saying that they had these exceptions for rape, and yet there are no doctors or physicians or anyone in the state to see these people when they've been raped. So this is exactly what we expected to happen, and we're going to see this a lot more.
I mean, you can say there were exceptions, but then you're like, well, there needs to be a police report filed in a certain amount of time. I mean, it was 10 weeks later before she told her mom, this is a terrified little girl. I mean, I was terrified before giving birth of the pain, et cetera. This is a child, and these states, and if you look just at the map, to drive to get an abortion, you have to drive through 4, 5, 6 states, drive all the way to Chicago. It's like the Great Migration in order to get an abortion. And a lot of people can't afford to make that trip. How is that impacting where you are now? You are now in a free state, but I'm sure you also have people protesting and violently, sometimes maybe outside of your clinic. So you've got the violence when you get there and the protests and the drive.
Yeah, we definitely have. We still have protesters. But more importantly, what we have is we still have people that are calling who are needing services, and they don't know how to get there. They don't have access. They don't have funds. And, we spend all of our time mostly directing patients on the closest clinic they can go to and different funding places that can help them. But we're having for the last year, this is what we've been doing. We have women calling still from Mississippi, Alabama, everywhere. And these are women who have never left the state before. So when you think of a grown woman who can't even figure out how she's going to get to a clinic or what she's going to do. And then to think of a 13, she was actually 12 when she got pregnant, that little girl. To think of that is just, it does something to me, because for her parents to not have that choice to make and to be forced, for her to be forced to give birth, is devastating, actually.
In a state where they're giving money that's intended for people who are indigent to Brett Favre instead of to little to families like hers, right? So they're not even, and it's not a great state when it comes to maternal health care or helping people in need. How will the mifepristone situation affect you in a state like New Mexico if it goes the wrong way? We know that now the Fifth Circuit has sided with Judge Kaczmarek in Texas, restricting in some ways mifepristone. It's still legal. If that goes to, then what?
If that goes to we have a bigger problem, because that's going to affect a lot of women, a lot of these states that are sending pills, like mailing in the mail, the telemedicine is going to affect more states. It's going to affect some of the states that are supposedly safe, as they call them. I truly don't believe that any state is safe. No, because at any time they can pass something that will wipe that state out. So there is no such thing as a safe state. And with this mifepristone, it's just going to make it more difficult for women. They just keep constantly trying to make it go away. But the problem is not going away. The high mortality rate is not going away. Those things are not going away. It's actually, that's going to make it even higher.
Yeah. And what's also not going away is Republicans' determination to take this horror of Mississippi and make it national with a national abortion ban, because that is what they want, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Shannon Brewer, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. And God bless.